Good morning, everyone, and welcome. I'm pleased to be here today to discuss an important guide for your manufacturing license application. My name is Dr. S.K. Singh, and I hold a PhD in this field. Today, we'll be exploring the guidance document for submission of your application to obtain a manufacturing license. Over the course of this presentation, I will walk you through the key steps and requirements to help you prepare a successful application. Let's get started. Today, I want to draw your attention to the publication details of this important guidance document. It's published by the Central Drugs Standard Control Organization, which operates under the Directorate General of Health Services, part of the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare of the Government of India. This organization plays a crucial role in regulating drug manufacturing and licensing. The document's reference number is CDSCO DBA V01, with the date of issue being February 25, 2026. This helps in tracking and referencing the specific version of the guidance. Now, the main purpose of this document is to serve as a comprehensive guide for applicants who want to submit their application for obtaining a manufacturing license. It specifically focuses on the dossier-based licensing process for drugs, which means that applicants need to prepare and submit detailed dossiers containing all necessary information about their manufacturing practices, quality control, and compliance. Overall, this guidance document is a vital resource for ensuring that manufacturing licenses are obtained smoothly and in accordance with regulatory standards. It aligns with our broader theme of understanding the licensing process in India's pharmaceutical industry, emphasizing transparency, compliance, and quality assurance. This slide doesn't contain enough information. That's why we're moving to the next slide. Today, I will explain the purpose of this guidance document. Its main aim is to assist Indian manufacturers in navigating the application process for obtaining or renewing their manufacturing licenses. Specifically, it provides clear guidance on how to submit these applications to the concerned state licensing authority, as well as to the CDSCO zonal and subzonal offices. Moving on to the scope, this document is applicable to manufacturers who are looking to submit applications for license grants or renewals. It also serves as a review tool for regulatory authorities, helping them evaluate applications based on a detailed checklist. However, it's important to note that this guidance does not apply to AYUSH drugs, cosmetics, or medical devices. Now, let's talk about the introduction. The process we're discussing is called dossier-based approval. This is a common approach used to assess and approve manufacturing applications. Instead of making a decision based on a single evaluation, a dossier-based approach allows for a more structured and thorough review. It consolidates all relevant information in a comprehensive dossier submitted by the manufacturer, enabling regulators to evaluate the entire scope of the application systematically. This method not only streamlines the review process, but also ensures that all necessary data is considered, leading to more informed decision-making. So, in essence, this approach helps both manufacturers and regulators work together more effectively, ensuring compliance and safety in manufacturing practices. Let's now look at the continuation of the introduction. When we talk about the application process, it includes submitting the application form along with all the necessary supportive documents, test reports, certificates, and any other required materials. Once the dossier, or the collection of all these documents, is received, it goes through a review process by the concerned authorities. During this review, the authorities evaluate the dossier based on the provisions outlined under the Drugs and Cosmetics Act and the rules established under it. The decision they make, whether to approve, reject, or request further clarification, depends on this thorough review process. This dossier-based approval process is designed to promote transparency and ensure fairness in decision-making. It's a more efficient approach than evaluating each aspect separately because it streamlines the entire process and minimizes redundant assessments. Moreover, this method is particularly helpful when we need an objective and consistent evaluation, as it provides a clear framework for decision-making. Now, moving to the background, applicants must apply using the prescribed form as per the Drugs and Cosmetics Rules of 1945. This is necessary for obtaining a manufacturing license for drug products, including active pharmaceutical ingredients, or APIs. The applicant is also expected to submit various statutory documents along with the application. These documents are crucial because they help demonstrate that the manufactured drug products are safe and effective for use. In essence, this entire process and the documentation required aim to safeguard public health by ensuring only quality, safe, and effective medicines reach the market. Let's go through the key requirements outlined in the drugs rules that an applicant must fulfill. First, the applicant needs to provide adequate space, proper plant, and equipment for manufacturing operations. These specifics are detailed in Schedule M, which offers guidance on what is recommended for different types of operations. Next, it's essential to have and maintain sufficient staff, suitable premises, and laboratory equipment. This is crucial for testing the strength, quality, and purity of substances. Importantly, the testing unit must be separate from the manufacturing unit, and the head of the testing unit should be independent from the head of manufacturing. This separation ensures objectivity and maintains quality standards. Third, applicants must make proper arrangements for storing the drugs they manufacture. Storage conditions are vital to preserve drug efficacy and safety. Fourth, when applying for a license to manufacture a new drug, whether it's an active pharmaceutical ingredient or a pharmaceutical formulation, the application must be submitted to the Central Licensing Authority. This should be done in the appropriate form along with the applicable fee, as specified in the 6th Schedule of the New Drugs and Clinical Trials Rules, 2019. Finally, all manufacturing processes must comply with the good manufacturing practices outlined in Schedule M. These practices are designed to ensure that products are consistently produced and controlled to quality standards. Overall, these points emphasize the importance of maintaining strict standards, proper facilities, and clear procedures to ensure the safety and quality of pharmaceutical products. Now, moving on to the next key point under the drugs rules. If an applicant plans to market a drug under a brand name or trade name, they must furnish an undertaking using Form 51. This is a formal declaration to the licensing authority, stating that, to the best of their knowledge, no similar brand or trade name already exists in the country for any other drug. Additionally, the applicant must assure that the proposed brand or trade name will not cause any confusion or deception in the market. This requirement helps maintain clarity and prevents potential misrepresentation or misleading branding. Next, for certain categories of drugs, specifically those listed under Category II and Category IV of the Biopharmaceutical Classification System, the applicant is also required to submit the results of a bioequivalence study along with their license application. This step ensures that the generic version of the drug is therapeutically equivalent to the original, which is crucial for maintaining drug efficacy and safety standards. So, in summary, these provisions aim to ensure transparency in branding and verify the bioequivalence of certain oral dosage forms, aligning with overall efforts to uphold quality, safety, and market integrity in drug regulation. In the 61st DCC meeting, we discussed several important issues related to drug regulation. We were informed that concerns have been raised over time regarding the quality, safety, and efficacy of drugs, as well as the consistent implementation of provisions under the Drugs and Cosmetics Act of 1940 and its rules. This includes ensuring the safety of excipients used in formulations, which is critical for patient safety and drug reliability. The committee was also made aware of the need to adopt measures that promote uniformity in the approval process through document or dossier-based licensing. This approach aims to standardize how we evaluate and license drugs across the country, thereby improving overall quality, safety, and efficacy. It was discussed that implementing a uniform document-based licensing system could address many existing issues related to drug quality. A key idea was to develop a standardized checklist or format that could be adopted nationwide. Interestingly, the checklist currently used for approving new drugs in CDSCO could be modified appropriately to align with the drugs rules of 1945. The committee then recommended that this uniform approach be adopted for licensing drugs through a dossier-based system. They suggested preparing a checklist for submission of documents based on the current CDSCO format and circulating it among committee members within a week for feedback. Furthermore, it was proposed that the Deputy Commissioner General I should issue a letter to all state licensing authorities, advising them to implement this document-based licensing uniformly across the country. Finally, after thorough discussion, all the states expressed their in-principle agreement with the proposed guidance document for uniform product licensing. This consensus is a significant step towards ensuring that drug approval processes are consistent nationwide, ultimately strengthening our regulatory framework and safeguarding public health. Let's look at the guidance provided here. To achieve the objective discussed during the 61st DCC, which is to ensure a uniform implementation of the dossier-based approval system for drug licensing, a comprehensive checklist has been developed. This checklist is designed to ensure that all requirements are met by applicants before they obtain their license. The checklist is divided into two main sections or parts. Part A focuses on the administrative aspects, such as submitting documents related to the company's registration, like the certificate of incorporation, the constitution of the firm, land ownership or lease agreements, approvals from other government authorities, and details about the facilities. Part B, on the other hand, deals with the technical information about the drug products themselves. This includes stability data, process validation data, and analytical method validation or verification data. The primary purpose of this checklist is to help applicants submit their dossiers in a consistent manner across the country. This consistency will enhance the credibility and predictability of our regulatory system, making it more transparent and efficient. Finally, it is expected that all state regulatory authorities will implement this checklist within their respective states. This uniform approach is key to achieving a seamless, standardized process for submitting documents and obtaining licenses, ensuring that quality, safety, and efficacy are maintained across the board. Let's now look at the checklist for the grant or renewal of a manufacturing license for drug products. This is a crucial part of ensuring that manufacturing facilities meet all necessary standards and are compliant with regulations. First, it's important to thoroughly review all documentation related to the manufacturing process, including validation reports, quality control procedures, and batch records. Ensuring these are complete and up-to-date is fundamental. Next, we need to verify that the manufacturing site complies with Good Manufacturing Practices, or GMP. This includes cleanliness, proper equipment maintenance, and staff training. These factors directly impact the quality and safety of the drug products produced. Another key point is the inspection of the manufacturing facilities. Regulatory authorities will want to see that the site is well maintained and that processes are consistently followed. This often involves a site visit where they assess compliance firsthand. Additionally, it's essential to check the stability data of the products, ensuring they maintain their quality throughout their shelf life. Regulatory authorities will scrutinize this data as part of their evaluation. Finally, don't forget to review the documentation related to previous audits and any corrective actions taken. This demonstrates your commitment to continuous improvement and compliance. All these points come together to ensure that the manufacturing process is robust, reliable, and capable of delivering safe, effective drug products to patients. Keeping this checklist in mind helps streamline the licensing process and maintain high standards for public health. Let's continue with the checklist for the grant or renewal of a manufacturing license for drug products. As we discussed earlier, maintaining compliance with regulatory standards is crucial. Now, on this slide, we're focusing on the continued requirements that ensure the manufacturing process remains up to date and compliant. First, it's important to verify that all manufacturing facilities meet the current Good Manufacturing Practices, or GMP. This includes everything from cleanliness and equipment validation to staff training. Next, documentation plays a key role. All manufacturing records, batch production records, and quality control reports need to be thoroughly maintained and readily available for inspection. This transparency helps regulators trust that the processes are consistently controlled. Another critical point is the ongoing validation of manufacturing processes. We need to demonstrate that processes remain in a state of control over time, which might involve revalidation or stability studies, especially if there are process changes. Additionally, any changes to the manufacturing process or facility must be properly documented and approved. This ensures that all modifications are traceable and do not compromise product quality. Lastly, regular internal audits and self-inspections are essential. They help identify and address potential issues proactively before they become regulatory concerns. So, keeping these key points in mind is vital for not just obtaining the license, but also maintaining it seamlessly over time, aligning perfectly with our overall theme of consistent quality and compliance in pharmaceutical manufacturing. This slide doesn't contain enough information. That's why we're moving to the next slide. Now, moving on to the note on this slide. When you're seeking permission for additional items within an already approved category, there's a specific process to follow. You will need to submit detailed information as outlined from serial number 19 to 41. It's important to remember that this applies only to the additional items you're requesting permission for. Also, if you find that any of the documents listed earlier are not applicable to your situation, you must justify why they are not relevant. Simply stating, "not applicable," isn't enough. You need to provide a proper explanation. This process ensures transparency and helps the reviewing authority understand your specific circumstances. Overall, it's about maintaining clarity and accountability when requesting modifications or additions to your approved category. For further support, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. We're here to help you with any questions or additional resources you might need. Simply contact us through the information provided, and we'll be happy to assist you. Thank you very much for your time and attention today. Your engagement is truly appreciated, and I hope you found this presentation valuable. Remember, we're here to support your ongoing success, so feel free to get in touch whenever you need. Thanks again.